Hey, it's Chef Evelyn, and I am back with another video. And today we're going to talk about the 3 requirements you need before leaving your corporate career for full-time culinary business ownership. I know that's a mouthful, so follow me again. Today we're going to be talking about the 3 requirements you need before leaving your corporate career for full-time culinary business ownership, okay? And before we get deep into that, I want to remind you about the upcoming workshop from corporate to culinary that I am going to be hosting on September the 26th, which is a Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And listen, don't worry if you can't attend live, which I recommend that you do because you want to get the interactive. We're actually going to be doing work in the workshop experience. You can always catch the replay. Now, listen, in that workshop, we are going to be helping you map out your step-by-step exit plan so that you can transition from your corporate job into full-time culinary business entrepreneurship with confidence. We're going to be doing the math and putting a strategy in place so that your culinary business can replace and even exceed your current corporate salary. Because listen, you built up this high corporate salary, or maybe you've already transitioned from corporate and you missed that high corporate salary and you were like, what do I need to do to get my culinary business to replace that, match that, exceed that? We're going to be doing that in the workshop. And we're also going to be working through the changes that you need to implement in your business so that you can do that consistently. So if you haven't already gotten your seat at the table, go to fromcorporatetoculinary.com because I want to see you there on the 26th. Don't be coming back on my channel crying to me next year talking about, I've been wanting to leave my job and you didn't come to the workshop so we could create you an exit plan. And if you're anything like me, I'm the kind of person that if there's a VIP opportunity, I'm usually going to do the VIP opportunity. And so if that's you, there is an option for you to enhance your experience with a 90-minute one-on-one private strategy call with me. So if you want to attend the workshop and then also take it a step further, enhance it, put the extra sauce on it, put the finishing salt on it, if you will, then you can select that option. There is a limited number of spots for that, obviously, because I'm only one person. And so if that is something that you know you want to do, then make sure you head on over to fromcorporatetoculinary.com and I will see you there on the 26th. Now, let's get into today's video, right, about these 3 requirements that you need. And I'm going to start off with an assumption. I bet you have a whole quit my job plan already, don't you? So I'm talking about that we're going to be creating an exit plan in the workshop. You are probably like, I already have an exit plan, but let me guess, your plan probably has, if not all, several of these 7 steps. Number 1, go to culinary school. Check, done. You did it. Okay. The second thing is to set a quit date. I'm going to be gone by April of such and such year. Okay. Usually maybe around the time you graduated from culinary school or within a year after, right? But if it's already been some time, okay, you got a quit date on your calendar. Third part of your quit your job plan is to save a large sum of money in the bank so that you can have the confidence to leave, right? So you can have that 6 month of living expenses cushion that they talk about, right? And let me know in the comments which one of these apply to you, or if you're just guilty of several of these have been on your quit your job plan. No shade. We've all done it. This is not judgment. This is letting you know. I'm letting you know that I know what you've been doing. Okay. Number 4, offering as many services as possible so you have as many ways to make income. I don't care if I don't love it. I don't care if it's not my favorite thing. It's more money coming in, right? So you're offering all these different services. Number 5, saying yes to any client that comes your way so that you can build the business. You won't have to, you tell yourself you won't have to work with them forever. You can grin and bear it. Let me just make this money, you know what I'm saying, and be on my merry way. And once I make it, I won't have to work with people like this anymore. Tell me I'm lying, okay? Number 6, you've lowered your prices because you are under the belief that if I lower my prices, I can get more clients. It'll be easier to book clients and, people won't, change their mind or say no once they find out my real rate. So I'll lower my prices, and that way it'll be easier for me to get more clients. Am I walking down your street? Am I cooking in your kitchen? I probably am. And number 7, adding more hours to your business days so you'll have more opportunities to make more money. So this is when you start getting into, maybe I should just stay up a little bit later, and maybe I should just get up a little bit earlier. Maybe instead of getting up at 6:30, I'll get up at 4:30-ish, right? It's only temporary. Maybe instead of going to bed at 10, I'll go to bed at 11:30, because I just need more. If I just had more hours, more time. I know I said I don't want to work on Sundays because I need a day to prepare for the corporate week, but now I'm going to take clients on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, maybe on Thursday night, right? You're adding more hours so you'll have more clients and more opportunities to make more money. So let me know in the comments down below which of those 7, or how many of those 7 apply to you, right? Because here's what's happening. At the end of the day, your priority is to quit your full-time job because you're not really passionate about it anyway. If you were passionate about it, you wouldn't be watching this video. Okay, listen, we can be honest here. There's no judgment. We can be honest. If you were passionate about your corporate job, you wouldn't be watching this video. The thing you don't realize is, after doing all of that in those 7 steps in your quit your job plan, that none of those things, unfortunately, are going to get you out of your job any faster. I hate to be the one to break it to you. None of those things. Listen, I've done it, and I've did it 11 ways from Sunday. None of those things are going to get you out of your job any faster. Don't get me wrong. Culinary school, amazing. It's going to teach you to be a better cook. Some people may even consider it a must, but it doesn't help you build or grow a business. Okay. You have to remember, you're not getting an MBA when you go to culinary school. You're learning to be a better chef. That's the distinction. Culinary school doesn't teach you business. Setting those quit dates on the calendar don't do anything but stress you out when you're not closer to being in a position to safely quit when the deadline approaches. And so you keep moving it. You done had 12 different quit dates. Every year rolls around. By this time next year, I'm gonna quit. By April, by March, by October, I'm not gonna work. I'm not gonna go through another holiday season. I'm not gonna go through another busy season. And how many times has the quit day moved? Again, this is not judgment. This is I'm telling you what I've done, what my clients done, and I know that several of you are doing. And all of those last steps, all of the rest of those steps that I talked about, just put you in a position to be burnt out and exhausted and broke, right? Working more, taking on more clients, taking on clients that you hate, services that you hate, lowering prices is like the NASCAR Autobahn express train to Burnoutville, okay, and being broke in your business. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a step back, take a deep breath. Do it with me one more time. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, right? And hear me out that there is a better way, okay? Hear me out that there is a better way. First, I'm going to say something is not going to be your favorite. Keep your job for right now. I know. It's better to build a business while you don't have the financial pressure looming over your business, because it has to work out immediately, right? I've talked about this in another video, that when you quit prematurely, it's like a vicious cycle. It's like you don't even have time to really learn proper strategy, proper entrepreneurship, because it's like, I don't have time to build it right. I got to build it quick, right? Because the money needs to come in, right? But here's the thing, chances are it won't work out immediately. And that is not like gloom and doom. That is, if you've been an employee, some of us had a job as a teenager, all of your 20s, all of your 30s, depending on how old you are, 40s, 50s, whatever the case may be, thinking that you're going to click over and immediately get entrepreneurship in 60, 90, days or 6 months is just, there needs to be an adjustment there on expectations, right? And I know what you're probably thinking. That's why I plan on saving a whole bunch of money. But here's the thing, money can run out. Money can run out and you can still not have a successful business, right? And so I mean this with love. I do not want you to blow through your savings when you already know your business isn't profitable yet. Why would you do that? Saving is for the unexpected or the planned, right? That's what that's for. That's not for okay, I'm going to quit knowing that I have no clue how to make this business consistently profitable, because you may be getting clients, but not enough to replace your income. So then you're just starting the clock and putting the pressure on yourself that I got 6 months, right? So you are fully aware of the current financial status of your business, okay? And you're not the kind of person that's planning on struggling like that, like the whole struggle entrepreneurship group, not your people, right? And so you're not planning to struggle. So let's not blow through savings when your job is fine, right? Your job is fine. And it pays the bills, it pays the mortgage, the car payments, the trips, and it pays for the lifestyle you've been accustomed to. I know that you don't want to have to downgrade, downsize, all these different things because you quit your job prematurely. Remember, you don't want to work in somebody's restaurant. And you don't want to cater backyard barbecues, okay? And you don't want to be the person slinging styrofoam plates on social media. If you're watching my videos, you're here because you want to build a high-end culinary brand. You don't want to keep doing stuff for free, doing stuff for discount, working with people that are always negotiating your prices. You're over that. If you weren't over that, you wouldn't be here, because you would think that was fine and that was normal, right? You're here because you want to build a high-end culinary brand, because you know that's exactly the kind of brand that attracts high-paying clientele and allows you to work less while making more. You don't want to work more. Why would you leave a corporate job to work more and make less? You want to make more and work less. You don't want to work more and make less. That doesn't make any sense, right? So you've already noticed, and this is one of the things I talk to my clients about, you've already noticed by now there are too many social media famous chefs, culinary experts, not so experts popping online. They seem to go viral. It looks like their business takes off overnight, right? And so you're like, I can't show up with my business looking any less than exceptional if you truly want to attract that high-end clientele, right? And for high-end clientele, it's about the full experience, which I shared with you recently, right? We talked about that. So before I wrap this video up, I want to leave you with a piece of advice on how you can start to create that high-end culinary brand, okay? First, you have to get clear on what your ultimate goals are for your culinary business, okay? It likely doesn't include working 32-person dinner parties a month, or meal prepping for people and driving and doing deliveries within a 50-mile radius like that. I know that's not what you envisioned for yourself when you decided to start your culinary business, okay? So the first thing is you have to get really clear on what the ultimate goals are for your culinary business. That's step number 1, okay? Number 2, you need to decide how you want to work and live. That will determine the kind of culinary business model that aligns with your passion, matches your energy, and can replace your income, okay? And then finally, you need to have a clear blueprint of what you are building and exactly how to do it. Now, this is why I'm hosting the workshop on September the 26th, because I want you to be realistic and have a actual realistic step-by-step strategy on what it's going to take, what it actually looks like to A, have a business that's built around your life, B, have a culinary business model that can replace and exceed your corporate salary, and C, what a actual healthy transition plan from full-time corporate career into full-time culinary business ownership looks like, right? That way we can get you the heck up out of that job. I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face. How many more years are you willing to sit and wait and keep moving the quit date until you say, I have got to do something about this? How many more family events? How many more weekends? How many more trips you're not going to take? How many more things are going to sit on the back burner for you? Like, you know what? When am I going to do something? Because what I don't want for you is for you to look up and you're 65 and you're like, I'm starting now. I'm going to tell you something. There is a chef that I know who significantly older than I am. And I believe she waited until she was in her 60s to like really get it together. And so she finally was like, I'm about to do this business full time. And she was able to do it for a couple of years, and then her health declined. And so she had to retire. And so she only got to live her dream for a nanosecond. And it's like all those years that she could have been living in her passion, right? But she waited. I tell people all the time, waiting is dangerous. Waiting is expensive. Waiting is tricky. And it's never. So get in the practice of taking immediate and perfect action, and make sure one of your first steps is signing up for the workshop on September the 26th. So with that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you are new here, listen, if you've watched the end, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I know you don't want to miss any more of these videos that I'm going to be releasing. And for my family that's been here for a minute, listen, if you do not have your notification bell turned on, it's imperative that you do, because I still got more videos coming your way for Chef Timber. Listen, I'm trying to do the whole play on words, and sometimes I'll be like, is it September or Chef Timber? Chef Timber. But anyway, I will see you in my next video. Peace.